Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host and moderator, BSI Director of Standards Policy, David Bell.
Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to the day 2 of the BSI Standards Conference and Awards, the first day in person. Hopefully you all joined online yesterday. Thank you all for coming out on a filthy day. Hopefully you've stowed your wet umbrellas and your wet coats. The only thing we can guarantee today is that we will keep you dry and warm, if not, and hopefully inspired, and we might learn something as well on the way, you never know. We do have a record crowd today, so it's a bit full, but hopefully you've all managed to get seats. It's great to see so many of you turning out. We're going to talk a lot about trust today. Trust is an integral concept for how we live our lives. We need trust in our political leaders, in our business decision makers. We need trust in our products and services. And standards play an important role in helping to build that trust. And that's so important for the way we live our lives, for our economic well-being, our social well-being, and for the change that we want to see in the future. So we're going to unpack some of the concepts around trust throughout today's sessions. Including this afternoon where we've got an interactive workshop, something new for this event. If you've been to it before, this is a new concept for us, so go with us. We're going to unpack through the lens of 4 particular standards. We're going to work through some of the key concepts about trust, and we want to hear from you. We're not looking for technical expertise. In fact, quite the opposite. We want to hear your views as a citizen about the issues that are important to you to build trust and confidence in your life. And the standards are a journey to get there. So we want to work through a workshop. You've got an opportunity to go to 2 sessions, and then we're going to feed back into the room, and we'll do that this afternoon. Also this afternoon, we will be presenting the 2022 Standards Awards. Now, these are a fantastic opportunity to hear about the way that standards are changing lives, and to celebrate some of the people who are making that happen. So we always get some amazing stories out of that session, and we're really looking forward to presenting those awards and telling their stories to you this afternoon. Now, there's lots of resources to help you on the app, so hopefully you've all seen the app. You've got lots of emails already from BSI, I know, so hopefully you've clicked on the link and it's taken you to the app. There's resources in there really to help you through the day, as well as the agenda. You can find lots of resources connected to the workshops this afternoon and some other white papers and relevant papers for you to read in your own time, and hopefully to help you to get the most out of today. And of course, you will see lots of you'll see a recording of this later. You'll also get access to lots of the materials online later on. Now, everyone participating today is in the room. We don't have the great secret silent majority outside tuning in online. Everybody's here in the room, and we want you to ask questions. This is going to be interactive today. So for those of you who've spent too long on Teams and Zoom and you're looking for the raise hand app, it's this, okay? It's literally just raise your hand. We call it our digital approach. Use your digits to... Yeah, okay. We'll be looking for questions from you, so raise your hands and we'll try and get as many questions as we can. We've got a great panel this morning that we really want to make as interactive as possible, so we look forward to hearing from all of you. There's a hearing loop over here, so if you need to use that, those are the best seats to take. If they're not already being taken, please swap over at the break if you haven't already got there. And do visit our Knowledge Marketplace, which hopefully you saw outside while you were getting your breakfast. Thank you so much to everyone who's exhibiting with us. We always welcome your presence. Lots of great stories and things for you to interact with, explaining that whole implementation of standards and the lots of interrelated areas as well. So please do spend some time with them during the breaks and at lunchtime. Okay, so to kick us off and to start our day and our journey, please welcome BSI's Chief Executive, Susan Taylor-Martin.
Good morning, everyone. And as David said, I'm Susan Taylor-Martin. I'm the Chief Executive of BSI. And on behalf of our entire group leadership team, who are all here today, it is our pleasure to welcome you to day 2 of our 2022 BSI Standards Conference and Awards. You know, opportunities like this to have discussions and connections and contact with our standards makers, standards users, subscribing members, clients, stakeholders are really, really important to us at BSI, and we are just thrilled to see so many of you here today as the heavens opened this morning. We were all slightly nervous, but it's wonderful, so thank you for coming out. And for us to have conversations with you about how standards can embed best practice, how standards can accelerate innovation, how standards can help organizations become more resilient and more sustainable, and really build trusted, back to that word that David just talked about, trusted customer relationships. Those conversations with all of you help us understand how we can fulfill our purpose as an organization, which is all about helping to build trust. At BSI, we feel extremely privileged that we're in the position of being able to bring together representatives from all parts of so many industries, so many communities of interest. It really is for us about every voice, and convening our volunteers' expertise to develop consensus best practice, we just think is the very best way to do that. So we are incredibly grateful for everything that everyone in this room does to really help embed that. We've had 100+ years now of convening experience, and our neutrality, our position in the UK as the UK representative in the international standard system ISO, plus puts us, I think, in a very unique position to help make a very positive difference. And we think that the relevance of what we do, all of us collectively, is only increasing. Because as the world tries to grapple with these cross-cutting new challenges and opportunities, but things like sustainability, digital transformation, alongside evolving best practice in every sector and in every domain, I think the work that we collectively do is only getting more important and more vital. At BSI, our aim is to partner with you, with our clients and stakeholders, to build trust and to accelerate progress for the long-term benefit of all. Our ambition is that by helping shape thinking on important issues, and also by making sure that we're creating the environment to come up with the solutions to address those issues, we can be an agent of positive change. It's been extremely rewarding over the last couple of years, but particularly this year, to see our strategy and our purpose come to life through the work that we've done with many of you in this room, shaping standards which raise the bar in terms of performance and can be a real catalyst for that positive change that we're all looking for. This year, with the passion and the commitment from the standards makers in this room and beyond, we'll have published just under 2,500 new and revised standards. And every standard that we publish has merit and importance in its field. But I wanted to touch on a few that I'd like to pull out just to sort of explain almost the breadth and diversity of everything that we work on together. We're just about, for example, to publish ISO 22361, which is on crisis management guidelines. That's all about, it's a PAS, so it's a publicly available specification, or what I think of as a fast-track standard. And it's a British standard that we've now internationalized through ISO. And it provides best practice guidance on how organizations can improve their strategic crisis capability. I think you'll agree that topic, this best practice, could not be more relevant today. We'll shortly publish BS ISO 32210, I love the numbers, as you can tell, on sustainable finance. Now, again, this is providing guidance to organizations in the financial sector on how to apply sustainability principles, practices, and terminology for financing activity. Again, mission critical given the challenges that we're facing today. ISO 27001, now this is one of the big four in terms of management standards. It's on information security, cybersecurity, and privacy protection. It's just been revised. This is the third revision, actually, by ISO of one of the most high-profile and increasingly important international standards. It provides the requirements for the development and operation of information security management systems Again, something that is completely and utterly foundational to the world in which we're kind of transitioning now, this digital world. Earlier this autumn, we released the world's first ever standard. It was a British standard and a free standard on modern slavery. Because we want to help organizations, both here in the UK, but also globally, totally eradicate modern slavery, which, by the way, affects more than 40 million people globally, only got worse through the pandemic. So something that we felt passionately about, that we really felt a standard could help, accelerate change. And another sort of free-to-air standard is PAS 808, which is about purpose-driven organizations. And actually, this was prompted by our chairman, John Hurst, who's with us today, and he's going to be joining us on a panel shortly. He's also the chairman of Anglian Water, and together with one of our other board directors, Dame Polly Curtis, who is a total luminary in the sustainability space. She is the founder and director of University of Cambridge Institute for Sustainable Leadership. She's also a director of Anglian Water as well as BSI. And together for John and Polly, their challenge was from an Anglian Water perspective, and they suspected for many other organizations, and they were right, they needed a credible standard that they could use to assess whether their own purpose met accepted definitions and good practice. And we found that there was agreement that business across multiple sectors, including our own at BSI, so this is a standard we need to implement, multiple companies were struggling with this same issue because we want guidance and high-level principles to avoid kind of misleading claims of purpose. So another standard that we have made available for free. Now, we've just come back from COP27. Our delegation was led by Scott Steedman, who you will hear from later. And there, our 2050 World, which is a global collaboration, which was convened by BSI, delivered the world's first ever net zero guidelines. Just to put that in context, we've had 26 COPs where we've not managed to get to that. So it was a huge step forward that with BSI's convening power, we were able to bring these guidelines to COP27 this year. And on a similar vein, we're part of the Secretariat leading the Global Integrity Council for Voluntary Carbon Markets Initiative. And the mission here is to ensure that all stakeholders, whether they're consumers, corporates, governments, societies, are able to kind of use evidence to make sure that their offsetting is indeed credible, is high quality, is truly taking carbon out of the atmosphere. This is an incredibly important initiative on that transition path to net zero. So again, I think something that's got real global import that we're helping convene on. The standards that we are working on collectively with many of you are all helping drive positive change. And the thing that I've come in as a novice to the world of standards before I joined BSI 2 years ago is I hadn't appreciated just the systemic power and reach of standards, because they are a practical way that we can accelerate and scale progress. And so we're delighted today and yesterday to have had the opportunity at the Standards Conference really to kind of celebrate the success of standards users and standards makers. For the standards makers, thank you for your incredible contributions, because your public spirited generosity is really raising the bar. You're devoting your time and energy, developing best practice, helping all of us be better in whatever industry, whatever sector, whatever field that we're working in. And we very much look forward to the Standards Makers Awards this afternoon. I think that's going to be fantastic. Now, sharing experiences of how organizations are using standards and how standards are helping them accelerate their progress is also vital. And it's vital in terms of enabling other organizations to understand the impact of standards and also to adopt them. And so later on today, we've also got the opportunity to hear what our Standards Users Awards winners are doing that is so successful. And those are vital stories for us to kind of share more broadly to really kind of get engagement and the kind of use of standards at scale. So what I really wanted to say was just simply thank you. We look forward to a day filled with insights, filled with learning, but importantly, some celebration, and it is filled with gratitude from our perspective, because we are together, sort of BSI, and we are enormously appreciative of everything that everybody in this room is doing to really sort of drive progress in the world. So thank you all very much indeed, and look forward to speaking to some of you over the kind of the next hours ahead. Thank you so much.
Excellent, Susan. Thank you so much for those words of welcome and for reminding us about the role of standards as a catalyst for positive change. Some of those topics are going to come up again, particularly the standard on purpose-driven organisations, and I think we'll hear more about the work at COP as well to build trust and credibility in green claims later in the day.